Good day, S1 students. You are welcome to another civic online class. In this week, we'll be discussing constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy. Now, let's quickly understand the meaning of constitutional and democracy. Constitutional is the adjective of constitution, which depicts anything that concerns constitution. While democracy is a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state who come out to elect their representatives. Abraham Lincoln defines it as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, understanding these two separate words, let's put them together. Constitutional democracy can be defined as a system of government in which there are clear limits of political authorities, and the electorate, that is the voters, has the power to remove poor performing government through elections. In constitutional democracy, the voters have the right and political power to vote in their government and to vote out their government if they are not functioning as expected. Constitutional democracy is a type of democracy where powers of the majority are exercised within a framework of the constitution. That means the people we voted into power by the people, their powers and their functions are based on what is stated in the constitution. Now let's look at the characteristics of constitutional democracy. The characteristics of the constitutional democracy are mostly like the same characteristics of democracy, but just a slight difference based on the constitutional, because there's some democracy that are not constitutional, i.e., the classic democracy. So let's go into the features, characteristics of constitutional democracy. Number one, popular sovereignty. So by popular sovereignty, it means the people have the political power. The people are the source of the authority of the government, which derives its rights to govern from their consent. It means the people gave them the consent during the election, voting them into power. Rulers. We vote for you. Rulers. Number two, minority rights must be also be respected. Even though we all know that in democracy there is majority rule, but there must be minority. Minority rights are respected in democracy. Now, number three, in constitutional democracy is a limited government. That is, people in power, their people in power, their authorities are limited based on what is stated in the constitution, and they cannot perform or function beyond their stated powers and functions. Now, the next one is we have separated and shared powers. Powers are separated among different agencies or branches of government. Each agency or branch has primary responsibility for certain functions such as to legislate, execute, and to adjudicate functions. Now, aside from separated and shared powers, and when this occurs, this follows, which is checks and balances. Different agencies or branches of government have adequate power to check the powers of other branches. Checks and balances include power to power of judicial review when a judge reviews the functions, actions of other branch of government like the executive, revealing it to be constitutional or not constitutional. At the power of the courts to declare actions or other branches of the government contrary to the constitution and therefore null and void, that is unacceptable and will not take place. Another feature of constitutional democracy is the due process of law. Individual rights to life, liberty, and property are protected by the guarantee of due process of law. Next, we have is leadership succession through election. We all know that in constitutional democracy and in normal democracy, uh, especially in the modern democracy, there is elections, and the elections are intervals. Now, interval elections help to remove and to bring in a new government, and this new government are new leadership, which the people have the political power to determine. Now, in constitutional democracy, the next feature we have is the basic freedoms. Now, these basic freedoms are the rights, the fundamental human rights of people in the country, which they enjoy and which must be protected by the authorities of the government, as stated in the constitution. Then, lastly, is the majority rule. This is the rule that gives the majority the chance to express their views and opinions in the affair of the government. Majority rule gives leadership rights to the people and thereby gain the full support and recognition of the masses. Now, these are the features of constitutional democracy. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed week. God bless.